Good morning, children. Today I'm going to continue with the explanation of the poem Nature's Trail written by Benjamin Zephaniah. Now, before I could continue with this poem, I would like to give you a short briefing of what we did in the previous class. Now, in the previous class, we have studied that the poet Benjamin Zephaniah is very fond of his garden. He loves his garden a lot and he likes his garden a lot. Now, the reason for him to love and like his garden is that there are lots of animals and creatures that are dwelling and living and flourishing in his garden. Now, there are some animals like the hedgehog, the creepy crawlies, daddy long legs, easygoing snail, wood lice, ladybirds, then you have birds, cats, and even a fox that comes and that are living in the poet's garden. The poet also calls his garden a wild garden because there are some birds, cats, and fox that come during the weird parts of the day or night to hunt other animals. For that reason, he calls his garden a wild garden. So please pay attention while I continue with the explanation of the remaining two stanza of the poem. Squirrel comes to nick my nuts, and busy bees come buzzing, and when the night time comes, sometimes some dragonflies come humming. Now, the poet says there are squirrels that comes to nick his nut. Nick his nut means they come to steal the nuts that are growing in the poet's garden. And busy bees come buzzing. Now, busy bees, these bees are being referred as busy bees because they are busy collecting nectar from the various flowers that are growing in the poet's wild garden. Sometimes some dragonflies are sometimes some dragonflies they come humming. Now during the night time when there is dark everywhere and if there is dim light burning, so at that time these insects or these dragonflies, what happen is they are attracted towards these lights and then they come over the light towards this light and then they start making a humming sound. They keep on making a humming sound. My garden mice are very shy and I have even seen bats that growl. Now the poet calls his garden mice to be shy. The reason for him to call his garden mice to be shy because mice are always in constant search of food. They keep going to different places and they nibble some food at one place and again they go back to their hole. Again they go to another place, again they go back to their hole. They nibble food and they take it back to their holes. For that reason, he has called his garden mice to be very shy. I have even seen bats that growl. Now he has even seen bats that growl means they make an angry sound. Now this screechy sound of the bat is referred as growl. This screechy angry sound of the bat is referred as growl in the poem. And and in my garden I have seen a very wise old owl. Now the poet has also seen a very wise old owl living in his garden. This owl has been dwelling and living in his garden for a very long time, and this owl is observing and he knows what are the activities that are going on in the poet's garden. For that reason, the poet has called the owl a very wise old owl because this owl has been living in the poet's garden for a very long time and he knows when does the animals, different types of animals, they come and visit the poet's garden at different parts of the day and night. My garden is a lively place, there's always something happening. Now the poet calls his garden to be a very lively place, a very busy place. Now the reason why the poet is calling his garden to be a very lively place or a very busy place, because there are lots of activities that are going on in the poet's garden. Now, like there are lots of activities going on in the poet's garden. Like for example, there are different types of animals that come and visit the poet's garden at different parts of the day and night. Now, what are these animals and birds coming and doing over there? Why are they coming over there? They are coming to either hunt other animals, they are coming in search of food. They are, the main thing is these animals are coming in search of food, or even they are coming to dwell over there, or to make a, or to dwell over there, or to build a nest over there, or to stay over there in the poet's garden. As his garden is flourishing, there is nothing less over there in his garden. For that reason the poet calls his there are lots of for that reason the poet calls his garden a lively place, as there are lots of activities that are going on in the poet's garden, and there is always a constant search of food. And then there is all that's flowering. When you have a garden, you will never be alone. Now, then there is all that's flowering. The word flowering means is everything that is growing over there. Things are multiplying over there. Even the flowers are blossoming and growing. Even animals are coming and dwelling over there, and they are multiplying more and more. For that reason, there are lots of activities that are going on in the poet's garden. And when you have a garden, you will never be alone. And I believe we all deserve a garden of our own. Now, in the last two lines of the poem, the poet says that when you have a garden, you will never be alone. Now, why is the poet saying that when you have a garden, you will never be alone? As there are so much of activities that are going on. There are different types of birds, animals that are coming to hunt other animals. There are different types of birds and creatures that are dwelling over there, are building their nest over there, or making their homes over there. For that reason, you will never feel alone. You will see a lot of things that are going on in the garden. And that in the last line, he says, I believe we all deserve a garden of our own. Then the poet says that, I believe we all deserve a garden of our own. Now, the reason for him to say that is, if you have a garden of your own, you will never feel bored of. You will never get bored. You will never feel loneliness. There are a lots of things that you can see, observe, and do in a garden. So you will never feel bored. You will never feel loneliness. This is the poem all about, children. For better understanding, I want you to read all the 4 stanzas of the poem as many times as possible. Until then, thank you.